Have you ever wondered what you can do with all this sort of trash? And this sort of packaging comes with so many different things nowadays, and it all goes in the trash. But let's try and make something beautiful with it and really useful. This is all HTP2, and that works really, really well. And how you know that is, I'm not sure if that's showing on there. You get a little triangle like that on it with a 2 in it, and often it says HTPE there. But if it doesn't say HTPE, but it's got a little triangle with a 2. Let's see if we can mark that to make that come up a little bit better. There we go. So HTPE2, then it's fine to do what I'm going to be doing with. First of all, what I want to do is cut myself some decent sort of strips from this. And this cuts so well, you can use a craft knife or, like I'm going to do, some scissors. I love upcycling. It is a real passion of mine, and repurposing things. It gives me a great deal of pleasure. So we've got a nice square there. Probably get a square here as well. Now, it doesn't matter if it's got shapes like this around it, because that will still work equally as well. And milk cartons as well in the UK. I don't know about the rest of the world, but they come plastic like this, so we can cut some nice bits out of this as well. All my plastic bits are cut up now, and they're just in random shapes. Now, I wouldn't recommend you do the next bit straight on your cutting mat if you've got one. Put a bit of board down or something that's fairly heat proof for this next stage, because these mats really don't like, as I found out many, many times, to have heat put on them. A lot of this HDPE plastic comes in different thicknesses. I certainly have got some thinner bits, and this is really quite thin, and I've certainly got some thicker bits. So take that in mind when you're doing this, and also protect your hands as well. So what I've got here is some little of these glass beads, and with this thicker stuff, I'm going to heat it up while it's laying over these glass beads to get some great shapes going in here. Make sure you've got some gaps in them as well. And then I'm going to heat this up using my heat gun on a high heat. And the good thing about this resinous heat gun is you can actually have it on a variety of heats. And you can use these nozzles on it as well. But don't burn it. What you don't want to do is burn this, because if you burn it, then what's going to happen is you're going to end up releasing fumes. You just want to be able to melt it. And then we're going to let that cool down. A bit hot at the moment. And that'll have taken on those shapes, so we can put that to one side. And there's lots of different things that you can lay this over. I've got a piece of crystal here that I could lay this over. I could put a few beads around it, lay that on there, and then heat that up evenly as I go over. This is quite a thicker plastic, so this is going to take a little bit more time, but as long as you keep moving it around, you're not going to burn it into one space. It will shrink a little bit as well while you're doing it, but don't worry about that. That just gives it a little bit more pattern, and which will look nice when we come to do the next bit. And that's now allowed that to get some good shape into it. Well, I've got all my shapes now, and I did a variety of different shapes, and it's now that you have to decide where you're going to put your finishing coat of it. Now, I'm going to be using my gilding adhesive, and all I'm going to do is paint this all over this plastic and let that dry. And once it's dry, it will go clear again. You'll see why I'm doing this in a second. Make sure you cover everywhere, and you only really need to do one side. There we go, and put it to one side to cure. These I thought I could make into some earrings and possibly a pendant with that one. So again, I'm going to decide on my side. I'm going to have this as the outside. Give that a good paint and then let that dry. And you know when it's dry because it all goes beautiful and clear. And this stuff isn't expensive, but it makes such a big difference for adding things like glitter or gilding and lots of different things. I love it. Big thank you to everyone that got me a coffee last month. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. It really does help support me and my channels, and allows me to keep buying stuff and making stuff to show you. So thank you very much. And if you'd like to show your appreciation and your love, then the link for buying me a coffee is in the description below, and you'll get your name on my coffee board next month as well as a big thank you. So now that's all dry, what I've got here is some different coloured foils that I'm going to place around randomly on top of that glue. Now it's dried. You can use whatever colour foil you want, and if you haven't got foil, then I'm going to show you another way of doing it. I'm working on a bit of paper here because all these little extra foil strips that fall off I will put in a little pot, and then I can use it as dusting or different bits and pieces for when I need a little bit of foil to be dusting on things. And then once that's on there, all I'm going to do is brush over with a soft brush until it's fully adhered to there. And that isn't going to go anywhere once that's on there. That is on there permanently. And then what I'm going to try is a little bit of these chameleon flakes in places where I've got gaps. You could put more foil down there, but if by covering it with this, I think it really does finish off lovely. Brush them as well until they're lovely and smooth and sat on there really nicely. And that way they're not going to come off either. So there we go, that's that one finished. And now, oh, look how pretty that is. And now I'm going to finish off all the rest, and then I'm going to show you what you can do to shape them. These are all done now. I'm really pleased with how they've come out. They come out so pretty. Now, you could put a coat of gloss varnish over them if you wanted to, and that will really give that a secure in there. But I'm not going to do that at this stage. I mean, but look how pretty they come. So easy and quick to do. Simple, just some upcycling plastic. I'm going to show you how I'm going to turn these two pieces and this one into some brilliant jewelry. And I'm also going to show you what I'm going to do with some of the other pieces as well. So for these, I need to make a little hole, and I'm going to make a little hole here in this top bit. All I'm using is my hand drill, and that'll drill through there so easy. You don't need to worry about using a Dremel for this sort of thing, because it's really just a thin plastic, and that should give you that great hole there. And I'm also going to put one in this bit here. And they even shine through the back as well, because you've got this clear plastic, and they look great from the back. And all you need to do is take a jump ring like that. Put your jump ring on the earring bits, close them up, and then a jump ring on the pendant bit, close that up. And then I'm going to add another jump ring to each of these, but this time with a earring back on it. And then one on here for a pendant cord. So now we've got two brilliant earrings and a pendant that are ideal for parties or any time that you want to wear them. Really lightweight as well, and I think they'll look beautiful catching the light, and they look really, really pretty, and you could sell them no problem at all. Now we've got pieces like this, and what I'm going to do here is just quickly show you what you can use these for. Well, you can use them for whatever you like, but you can turn these into fabulous hearts and things like that. So let's draw the heart on the back here. That way, if we've got any left over, the ink, we can run that off because it's not going to cause us a problem on the actual foil itself. And you could make anything with these bits, and this will still cut lovely. You can use these other small bits as mosaic pieces or whatever you want to use them for. Look how pretty that is. That's made a great heart, and that one there has also made a great heart. And you could make those into earrings as well if you wanted to, or whatever you want to make with them. So you've got lots of different shapes, lots of different colors, and a really useful and such an easy upcycle of plastic. I think that, I love that bit. That bit in itself could make its own quite large necklace or pendant, and then you could hang it from here and here. You could also shape it up as well if you wanted to. So get rid of some of these corners like that. Almost looks like the Batman sign, and we could round those corners off here, and there you've got a unique piece that you could turn into a pendant. Hope you've enjoyed this piece. Check out some of my other upcycling ideas, and definitely my other upcycling ideas on how to use plastic bottles, because people have fallen in love with what I've made there. I'll link that video at the end of this one. Boot that like button and hit that subscribe button. Take care, but most of all, enjoy your crafting. Bye.